Hey SkimK, now before I start this video, I must say I really liked episode 3, it was really awesome. Game of Thrones is just checking off all these things I wanted, like kill Ollie, bring Jon Snow back to life, make him leave the Watch and do his own thing. Everything's going well. I'm really hyped for this season. So I could not wait to see what was happening in episode 4, so I'm going to break down this preview and see what we can look into for the next episode. Okay, we start off with a shot of the gates opening and revealing Sansa, Brienne, and Podrick. Okay, so I believe that Brienne has thought ahead and thought the North is nowhere near safe for her. Even though she's a Stark, Ramsay's in control, the Boltons are after her, she needs to get out of the North entirely, regather herself, and then she can come back and try to make a claim. So she's probably headed off to the Vale, where Peter Baelish is, to get either his support or the armies there, talk to Robin, maybe so on and so on. So there's going to be a really interesting conflict and conversation between Sansa and Peter Baelish. Because Peter Baelish organized the entire marriage. She will assume he knew some of the character of Ramsay, and he just left her there to get raped and imprisoned and everything. So it's pretty much all his fault. I want to hear what you guys think. What will Sansa do to Peter Baelish when he meets her face to face?
Sansa has escaped Winterfell. She won't be safe with the Boltons after her.
So here we see Peter Baelish talking to Robin, trying to convince him to either let Sansa in and give him his protection, or to give him the knights in his army to try and retake the North and give her support that way. From the books, we know that Robin is really and deeply in love with Sansa, really likes her a lot, and we saw a bit of that happening in the bit we had with her in the Eyrie, but I'm not sure how much, so I feel like Robin will tend to try help her and stuff, and that may give her the armies of the Vale. Now remember, the Vale was never part of the War of the Five Kings, so it has its army fully intact because Lysa was really secretive and wanted all the knights around her. So they're probably the strongest and best off at the moment when it comes to kingdoms and their forces. Then we move on to this shot of him right here. He's smiling, he's looking all happy, like he's agreeing with Robin. He's excited to say, oh, I'll support Sansa, but then he just straight away changes to a frown because he knows it's going to cost the Eyrie a lot to be able to support Sansa and go to war, and he doesn't want that. He doesn't care about Sansa whatsoever. He probably also is realizing that Peter Baelish's motives and goals aren't the same as his and the other lords of the Eyrie.
I risked everything for you, and you betrayed me.
I'm sorry.
Stop saying that.
Okay, so we can see that Theon has made it to a ship or whatsoever heading to the Iron Islands. So somehow he survived to get through the entire North where all the lords and everyone who could possibly recognize him wants to kill him. He's also crippled and hurt and dying and had to be left alone. So I don't know how it happened. He could have either stayed with the company of Sansa till they got to a port, and that might have been more understandable or reasonable. Going by himself, it just seems like they're just kind of skipping things to rush the storyline along because they didn't bring the Greyjoys in last season. In this next scene, we can see that Yara is still very disappointed in his brother for leaving her behind and not coming with her when she tried to rescue him way ago. I have a feeling that Yara is going to use Theon as a chip and a piece in the game for the Salt Throne because she's a female, and I feel like she's going to get less respect and stuff because she's a female, and that's traditionally how things happen. I also have a feeling that she may try to rule through Theon or put him as a candidate possibly that people can vote for, and so therefore he'll have to man her up and bring him up to seem like an Iron Islands person, someone worth following. And if he keeps completing and like saying, oh, I'm sorry and stuff, he's going to look like a submissive bitch and they're not going to vote for him. Now this next scene is very interesting. We get this dialogue of Cersei talking about how she has to repent for her sins.
Marjorie will repent her sins before the city.
That cannot happen.
I agree.
But that would destroy her as a Tyrell name and make her seem like she was actually guilty in the first place, so they can't have that. And then Cersei agrees, which is really surprising at first. You're like, what, Cersei's agreeing with them? I thought they were enemies and stuff. Are they like forming a pact to be able to fight the Faith or some stuff? I don't know what's happening here. But what I think is really happening is that Cersei has found out that Marjorie is accepting the Faith, is working with them and willing to be able to give up Cersei and other things, betray the nobles and the families and stuff so that she can help her and her brother out through the Faith. So by fighting the Faith, she's in turn fighting Marjorie through proxy.
When does she return?
Soon.
Okay, so we move all the way to Marine. The Masters are wondering if Cersei is ever going to return. Because if Cersei's not going to return, the hold over Marine is going to collapse real fast. And so the Masters want that juicy intel. Now, of course, Tyrion and the Councillors are like, no, she's coming back real soon. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. She's coming back with all her dragons and power and stuff, so we're all good. Just don't rebel. But then Game of Thrones was directly contrasting shot of her and Weiss with those problems to be dealing with, showing that she might not be coming back anytime soon. Now, at first, when the trailer was moving real fast and we were just like shortcuts, I thought that Dany was still with the Doscaline in this room. But after pausing and having a look around, it's not the Doscaline, it's actually the Cowls. This gives me the feeling that next episode we're going to start getting some serious acceleration with her storyline, and she's going to get all the Cowls to follow her, either when that's when Drogon shows up and she has that might and power, or a little bit later. Now, if next episode she gets the Dothraki on her side and Drogon returns, that'd be really awesome, because she might actually be able to put a foot, or at least a tiptoe into Westeros by the end of the season. Hopefully, maybe, possibly, don't get your hopes up. Okay, lastly, to finish off, Daario and Jorah return to Vaes Dothrak, try to fight to bust her out. I feel like it's going to be one of those awkward situations where they bust in, they fight some guards, they get to the room that she's in, and she's already like in control, all the Cowls are behind her, she's got a powerful army behind her, and they're like, what? We just did this giant adventure for no reason? Come on. Okay, I know it was short, but that was my breakdown of their preview trailer, and it looks like next episode is going to be really awesome. So get hyped, it's only like an entire week. But don't worry, I'll have my review and another video in between that to make that week seem a lot shorter and you get right back onto the Game of Thrones hype train. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time.